made themselves available to join us, and so I'm going to give them a chance to say a few words about the program. But basically, just as an overview, it's an honors program that allows you to earn honors credits on your transcript for certain courses. And it's called the Honors Project. And I think part of the reason we came up with that name is because we like to emphasize the idea of project learning. And also it has kind of a proactive ring to it. So you're actually, engaged in doing something that's meaningful to you. And I'll try to be brief, but basically the structure of the program is you join a 2-unit seminar that meets once a week. And in that seminar, you are working on thank you, thanks for the visuals. You're working on a project for one of your other transfer courses. So you can see listed here for the current fall, we have several sections of these seminars. And like I say, you will choose which course you want to get honors credit for, and then work with the instructor of that course and the instructor of the seminar, and oftentimes me, to help you develop and execute the project. So for example, if you want to get honors credit for your history class, you would join the humanities seminar, and other students in the program will be in the seminar with you, and one might be getting honors for English, and another one for film, and another one for ethnic studies, and maybe 1 or 2 others for history. But you're all kind of collaborating together, working on your individual project. So at the end of it, you get History 200 on your transcript with honors next to it. And you also have the Humanities Honors Seminar on your transcript. So it looks really good for making yourself more competitive for transferring. But more important than that, of course, is it's an incredible learning experience. It's an incredible holistic experience where you're really getting training with life skills for not just upper division and not just graduate school, but career and just life, as far as the program being an interdisciplinary program, a collaborative program, and a student-centered program where we really define honors not in terms of some objective metric that you have to achieve, but in terms of who you are, what you're interested in a particular course, and what matters to you. We want to help you bring that out in an academically rigorous way. So that's sort of my overview pitch. And again, I want to respect the time and also give some of the students who are here a chance to say a few words, if they're so inclined. I know that Anna is here and Kelsey. They both have been in the program for a few semesters. Dilek is here, and it's nice to see her. She's an international student, new to the program. And I think there was maybe one other student who's here who might want to just say a few words about the program, about your experiences. So I'll turn it over to you. Anybody want to chime in?
I can chime in first.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Nobody else wants to go. Hi,
Thank
everyone.
You.
My name is Kelsey, and I've been in the honors project for 2 full semesters now. This is my 3rd. And both semesters, I chose to do honors in humanities. So my first semester, I did it in Sociology 100. And then my second semester, I did it in Comm 110, which is public speaking. And what drew me to the honors project was that academically rigorous, because I wanted something going from, I came from a 4-year university, so coming to a community college, I still wanted that academic challenge in my life. So I decided to join the honors project, and I've been completely happy with the program. It's one of my favorite things about CSM, so I highly recommend it. Some of my favorite things about the program is working with the other students in the seminar classes. I think that we always facilitate great discussions, and it's always interesting to see how collaborations and like different perspectives can help like broaden your project. Even though you're all working on individual things, you get to come together and share perspectives, which I think is really unique. For my projects, the first semester my project was on the development of foster children in America, and then my second semester it was on gender inequality in the workplace. And so I think what's really unique about our program is that you get to decide what is of interest to you, and then you get to broaden that in your research project. So whether that be like you learned about a small portion of material in class, you can really elaborate on that. For me specifically, like in sociology, I learned a little bit about the foster care system, and then that plays a role in my life. So I decided to do a research project on that. Another thing that's great about the honors project is that it opens doors for other opportunities. I submitted my work to the UC symposium, and I actually got selected to present at UC Berkeley before COVID happened. So I'll be presenting next year. But my research for that project is also getting published, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, that's a little bit about my experience in the honors project. I highly recommend it, and I hope you guys join.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Kelsey. I know I saw a couple other students here. Nada is here and Anna. Anna, do you maybe want to say a couple things first and then Nada?
Sure. Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
So like Kelsey, sure. This is my third semester in the honors project. I've completed a science and humanities seminar. I've really enjoyed the experience I've had in both seminars because I felt like I've learned different skills that are appropriate for humanities or science research, which I found really interesting because I like topics in both disciplines. So I enjoyed that. Also considering just the project itself, I've always felt very supported by my seminar and with David and the seminar instructors to really successfully complete my research project, despite having maybe personal troubles or something comes up, or if you just don't understand how to do something. It's always very straightforward for them to always have access to be able to provide help. So I've always found that to be really great about the program. And I've also really enjoyed working with other students and making new friends in the seminars because we all have the same goal of finishing this paper. We all really want to help each other. So I feel like if you're looking for some sort of community and you can also benefit by learning new skills or trying to be more competitive for transfer, and you want a new sort of community and support system, the honors program seminars or just the program in general is a really good place to try to join because you can make friends and learn new skills along the way. So I would definitely consider or suggest that you apply or look into it or try talking to someone about it.
Thank you very much, Anna, to both of you. And maybe we'll just keep briefly, so we'll have some time for questions. Nada, would you like to just say a few thoughts, add on to anything maybe that hasn't been mentioned or?
Yeah, definitely. So hi all, my name is Nada Ali, and this is my third semester here at with the honors program, and it's
Are we losing her? Possibly. Nada, are you there? Well, maybe while Nada's trying to reconnect, Dilek, I don't know if you wanted to mention anything or not. It's up to you.
So, hey.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first semester with honors project. Yeah, so I don't have much to say for now because I just started. It's been like 4 weeks. But I would love to see more international students in the program, which is not the case right now. So I feel lonely a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But it would be really nice to have like more international students in the program. So,
Yeah.
So I know that we have international students right now here. So just if you have questions or if you have like, you want to talk to someone just like you, come to me and I can help with that. and then, yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Thanks very much. That's great. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mandana or Aubrey, if you want to hear anything else or give students, anybody, a chance to ask a few questions, we can do that.
Yeah, so at this point, let's take some questions from our audience. If anyone has a question, please feel free to unmute and go ahead and ask away.
Now I know about this in class, you just wait and eventually, right? You have to hold out,
How
but
many
we may not
seconds
have
is
that much time.
it? Well, I have a question for you, David.
Thanks, Mandana.
So what is the ideal time to come in and apply for the program?
Mhm. That's a good question. And, you know, for better or for worse, the answer really is just we accept applications pretty much all year, but you want to get your application in before the start of the term that you'd like to begin the program. So, you know, we do accept applications all year, and if it's in the middle of the semester, students become part of the community and they can get communications and be invited to different events and get involved. But you want to get your application in, you know, definitely at the latest a couple of weeks before the start of any given semester.
Great. It looks like we did get one extra question. Do we need to pay extra to get into the honors project?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that actually goes right into my bank account, that extra money. Of course, I'm kidding, folks. Just kidding, Kim, right? The college president's here, so I have to be on my good behavior. No, there is no, I mean, the only extra thing you have to pay for is the units for the seminar. So there are 2 units, and you have to make sure you have time and space in your schedule for that seminar. It is a class. And it will be some extra work. I'm just going to take this opportunity to clarify that your grade in the history class or the chemistry class is completely separate. That instructor gives you a grade for the work you do in that class. But the honors credit you're getting is done in the seminar, and it's just to get the notation on your transcript. So it's an extra project for history or chemistry that isn't really graded by that instructor, but is approved, and you work on it with that instructor. And then you get an A in history, and then you get honors because you completed the project in the seminar. So that's just, again, to clarify that, but it's back to your question. I mean, no, or the question that was posed, there's no, it's part of the regular curriculum. And, you know, unlike we have some two excellent honors clubs on campus, many of our students are members of those clubs, but those honors clubs are clubs that are more social and socially active. This is actually academic coursework and academic credit. And it looks like Nada was writing that she got cut off her internet. But she might be back, so I don't know if we want to.
I would love to share my experience if there's a little bit of time. I'm so sorry my internet was lagging and I got
Mandana, do we have a minute or not?
If it's quick, go for it, Nada.
Okay, perfect. So honors definitely gave me an opportunity to expand my horizons. Going into College of San Mateo, I didn't know what would be like give me a bit of a challenge during my first couple semesters. And this definitely was it for me. It taught me a lot of communicational skills, a lot of independency, going out and reaching to an honors instructor for them to like schedule meetings with you, or you to reach out and be like, hey, I want to talk to you about my project. And really self-management and work ethic going into this project. And you yourself, you get to expand your horizons in the field that you want to be in, as well as science or humanities, and then getting to choose not only your class and what you want to pair it with, as well as what you want to do. And sitting down with yourself and having that brainstorm process, it really gets you to realize like, wow, I'm really attaining more skills and building myself and achieving more academic rigor out of this. So it was very nice for me to continue working with the honors program.
Thank you, Nada. Thank you very much. So, Mandana, you can, of course, and Aubrey, you can send any inquiries you get from students directly to me, and I'll be happy to help out. And I will say, in relation to what Dilek mentioned earlier, we are definitely love to have as many international students as possible. I think we do have a lot of international students. Many of them are in the sciences seminar this semester, less so in the humanities, but it seems like every semester we get more and more international students. And that works well with our program, I think, because it is so interdisciplinary and has kind of a globalized perspective, if you will.
That is great. Thank you so much, David, and thank you to all the current honors students who shared your experience today with us. If we didn't get to your question, please feel free to submit them to myself or Aubrey, and we'll either get an answer from David for you or forward them on. I'll stick around after the event is over, so you're welcome to send those questions to me in the chat. All right.
Yes.
So let's move on.
And thanks to Aubrey or whoever was doing the website visuals. Thanks for handling that.
Aubrey.
Thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you guys.
Okay, moving on to our next presenter. I'd like to invite Jill Haberlin, an instructional aide from our English as a Second Language Center, to talk a little bit about their program.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Jill, and I work in the ESL Center as an instructional aide. So obviously, normally we have a center on campus, but right now this is my virtual home ESL Center. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some of the resources we have and how the center can support you. Whether some of you may be taking ESL classes, or maybe in your assessments you placed into English 100 or 105, we still have resources that are available to support you. Mandana, would I be able to share my screen? I think I can. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a few of the resources we have and go over some of the flyers of what we have available here at the center. So working in the center is myself and also Colleen. So one of us is kind of, whether we're in the center physically or virtually, one of us is available to help. We're open in the mornings, afternoons, and the evenings, and also on Saturdays as well. So depending on your schedule, there should be a time that one of us is available to assist you. And so while we're virtual, and you can reach us through email, phone, we're happy to set up a time to chat on Zoom. And as I said, there's different times by phone. It's just weekdays, but email, you can email us anytime, but these are the times you can expect a response from us. And this information is also on the CSM website as well. So for those of you who haven't seen our ESL Center, this is just a few photos so you can get an idea of what our center looks like. So when we're in person, the center is a great space to come and do your homework for your ESL classes, or if you have group projects. As you can see, we have computers as well as a printer there, and we have different activities as well. So that's kind of our physical space for the center when we are in person. Right now, we're still able to help you, and that's our job. Our job is to be here to support you. So even if I don't have the activity listed here, if there's something you need support with, let us know, because maybe we haven't thought of everything or really thought about what else people need for support and assistance. So if you're struggling with just some technology stuff, whether it's, Google Drive, or how to submit an assignment on Canvas, or how to find your password, we're happy to sit and chat with you and talk you through that. If you just want to practice some things, maybe you want to practice screen sharing on Zoom and learn a few more features, we're happy to help you with that, and just sit down for 20 minutes and go through a few things, because we really don't want you struggling with that. We want to make sure kind of everyone gets through that and can really just focus on their classwork. We're also a really good resource to talk about just the different ESL classes we have. We offer ones in vocabulary and reading, listening and speaking, grammar and writing, as well as pronunciation. So we have a lot of different types of classes. So depending on what you're looking for and your level, and also being virtual right now, I can tell you about classes going on at Kenyatta and Skyline, depending on what fits your schedule and your needs. Some of our ESL classes have a TBA requirement, so it's kind of specific hours and activities or appointments that you need to do with the ESL center. And that's just kind of extra support. So it gives you a chance, for example, our listening and speaking students, they have conversation circles where they can get an extra chance to just practice conversation, learning about different topics. So we support students with that. And then also what I'm going to be talking about today is what some of the support is that we still have available while we're virtual to support students that are taking ESL classes. And, if you're in English 100 or 105, some of these will apply for you as well. Let me go to... So we offer peer tutoring. So if you're taking an ESL class, so grammar and writing, reading, listening and speaking, we have ESL peer tutors that specifically can help you with that homework, whether it's your grammar or essays, if you're doing reading, if you're in a listening and speaking class and you want to have some conversation practice, we have peer tutors that are available. These are our 3 peer tutors, and you can read a little bit about them. Maybe one of them has a shared major as you. So you can learn about our peer tutors. And for our peer tutors, you don't need appointments. You just simply look at the schedule and see, it's Tuesday at 1 p.m. Oh, I can meet with Tet. And just click on the link and it'll take you to their Zoom room. And you may have to wait in the waiting room for a few minutes if they're helping another student, but they'll send you a message and let you know. So they're available to help. Make sure that you're prepared when you're going, that you have an idea of what you want to talk about, what you need assistance with. But they're a really great resource. They've taken a lot of classes at the college, so they're just also kind of good to talk to if you want to learn more about different classes and what to expect. So if you're in an ESL class right now, your instructor has probably posted this flyer on the Canvas shell, and if you can't find it, just let them know, and they'll either email it to you or let you know where it is on Canvas. One of the other things we offer that's great for any student taking ESL classes or English classes as well are our grammar and editing workshops. This is really great, especially if you've placed into English 100 or 105, but you really want to work on your grammar a bit. These workshops are a good opportunity for that. These are kind of open to anyone. They're about an hour and 20 minutes. And they're offered twice a week. So there's one on Thursday mornings and one on Wednesday afternoons. So as you can see, each week is a different topic. that relates to kind of editing and grammar. So you could pick and choose if there's something that you're struggling with or want to learn more about. These are really great because you can just drop in. You don't need to sign up ahead of time. Again, you would just click on the Zoom link and join during the workshop. But as I said, it's good because you don't need to go to every single one. You can just find the ones that really interest you. And another good thing is these hands-on editing workshops, and there's a few of them throughout the semester. These are ones where you can bring your essay or writing assignment with you and have a chance for somebody to look at it. So it's a really good chance to get some feedback and some real hands-on experience with your essays. So as I said, they're every week, and so it's the same topic depending on what your schedule is. And also these are being recorded, so if your schedule doesn't fit, you can't come on either of the days, we do have these recorded. So if you're in an ESL class, this is probably on your Canvas page. If you're in an English class, I believe your professor has a copy of this. If not, you're more than welcome to email me, or you can have your professor contact me and I'll make sure they have a copy of this that they can share. But again, the workshops are kind of great for anyone. It's just a really good chance to practice your grammar and to learn a little bit more about editing and proofreading skills. Another good resource is kind of our independent study lab only courses. Normally, when we're at the college on the campus, these classes are done in the ESL center. So you do all the work in the center. Obviously, since we're online, you do all the work online. But why these are great is so they're a half unit, so they're not a lot of extra work, but they're a really good supplement. So if you're currently taking ESL classes, or if you've finished your ESL classes, these are still good to go back to. Each class kind of focuses on a different skill. So listening and speaking, reading, we have a few for grammar and vocabulary. But these classes are kind of self-paced and they're tailored to your level. So each student is working on different assignments. So whether you're kind of a more high beginning level or advanced, we have assignments specifically for your level. So, you know, with reading, if you're kind of starting to read a lot of textbooks and realizing that, you know, your reading speed is maybe a bit low or you're having trouble with the critical thinking, then taking this, you know, half unit reading class is a really great idea to kind of just work on those extra skills. But as I said, it's only a half unit, so it's not going to take a lot of extra time. It's about 1.5 hours a week. And so you get your assignments and then you meet with an instructor during like an individual appointment about 7 times during the semester. So it's just a great way to kind of get some extra practice and support your other skills. And these are open entry classes. So for example, you can still enroll in these classes right now. And this isn't available this semester, but I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the other activities that we offer depending on the semester. So sometimes we offer workshops to help acclimate ESL students to kind of the American college system. So last spring, we had some workshops about expectations in the classrooms and communicating with your professors. Things of, you know, how do you write an email to your professor? What's appropriate to include and not? How do you kind of ask for things? Kind of what are, you know, thinking about class participation, what tends to be expected in American colleges. So these are really great workshops. We don't have them this semester, but this is just an example of some of the things that we do kind of offer during different semesters. And another example of that, this Word Jam we held last summer. We normally hold it kind of in the beginning of August. This year, obviously, it was modified and it was an online version, but it's free to all students. And it's just, with going back to school, it's a great way to kind of get back into the swing of things. It's a chance to kind of practice your English language skills and improve on them and just kind of get ready for the school year. It's also a really great way to connect with your other classmates and the faculty. And when we're in person, you know, we do a group project and we have a field trip to Stanford. So there are different kind of activities throughout the year at different times. But really all of them are about kind of helping you improve your English language, as well as community building, of really getting to know the other students and really kind of becoming a part of the CSM community. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, if you have any questions now, please feel free to ask. And if you have any questions later, please, I'm always available and happy to chat about anything.
All right, any quick questions for Jill? You're free to unmute your microphone or you can submit them in the chat. Give those couple seconds, always the obligatory couple second pause for the questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I heard about ESL Club.
Yes.
A couple semesters. Maybe you can tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so they've been working on getting that going for a few semesters, and spring was kind of their first semester to really get it up and running. So the ESL Club is open to all students. And it's really a chance for kind of ESL students to come together. And again, it's that idea of helping you kind of find community and kind of finding a place to connect with other students and maybe, you know, have some shared experiences with people and get some advice from other ESL students who've been here for a while, but also just to get together and have fun and enjoy your time. You know, I know, actually, I think I think this will be their third semester actually, because I remember last fall, I think they had kind of an event in the fall with food and people bringing some different foods from their country. So, I mean, it's time to come together. It's also just a social time to connect. And so even while we're online, the ESL Club, they're still kind of working things out, but they are trying to get it up and running because, you know, now more than ever, I think it's important that we're able to connect with each other and still really remain part of that community and really get to know each other, and to just have a fun outlet as well.
All right, seeing as we don't have any questions, if you all think of your questions later, again, please feel free to submit them to me or Aubrey, and we'll direct you to the appropriate resource. Thank you so much for your time, Jill. That was wonderfully informative.
Nice to see everyone.
Nice to see you too. All right, take care. Speaking of clubs, here to answer all of your wonderful questions about our student life, we have our Student Life and Leadership Manager, Aaron Schaefer. I'd like to invite you to take the floor.
Well, hello, everybody. As Mandana said, my name is Aaron Schaefer. I'm the Student Life and Leadership Manager. I've been here at CSM for 12 years, along with my partner in crime, Fauzi Hamade, who is our Student Life Assistant. We oversee not just the clubs, but our student government, all the activities that go on campus, our free speech when we're on campus, which doesn't, is not really a big thing right now, but when we're on the campus it is. And then we run our Student Life Center. We have a lounge, a big TV, things like that, which hopefully one day you will all be able to come and see because they just remodeled it. We were in for a total of 2 months before we had to close back down. But let me tell you a little bit about what we do. And I want to say this, and I know every single program that comes in here is important, and they're important for this one reason. Making connections with your faculty, with the staff, and with each other is the most important determiner of student success, period. It just is. They've done study after study. It crosses international student lines. It's cross-cultural. Having connections with faculty and staff is the main way, is one of the biggest determinants of whether or not you're going to be successful in college. And how we provide that is that kind of out of the classroom experience. We do it in two different ways. We have a full-fledged student government, and it is made up of 15 Senate members, a student body president, a vice president, finance director, and a vice chair who oversees all the clubs. Those individuals are elected the spring prior to the school year end. So all our student government officers were elected last spring for this year. That being said, we do have a variety of ways to get involved in student government. If leadership is something you're interested in, improving your communication skills, doing events and activities, we working on government-related issues. We have a variety of different ways to get involved in that. We have 3 different boards. We have one board called the Programming Board, which does all the activities on campus, and they will be doing activities virtually this year. We have a cross-cultural board that works on doing events and activities revolving around cross-cultural things, diversity, human rights, international issues, things like that. And then we have an advocacy board, which basically fights for students on a state, local, and federal level. All of these groups, including our Senate, are really important. And I've had international students ask, can I join them? Because it's a government, of course. And actually, we have a strong international student presence on all of our groups. And we're always very proud of that, because the international students bring a unique perspective, even to something like our advocacy board. Last year, towards the end of the year and in the beginning of the summer, they changed some of the requirements for international students. And there were some issues that possibly students were going to get sent home. The international students on our advocacy board brought that to student government, and they immediately went out and wrote letters and contacted our state representatives and our federal representatives and said, this is not what we want. So if you have a passion for any of this, this is where it is. There's always some, during the year, some ability to maybe get up on the Senate if people resign. We do appoint people up onto the Senate. You do have to be a part of one of our boards to do that. But if you have any interest in that, you can run for next year. At the end of this year, we held our first fully 100% online elections last year. It went really, really great. So that part of it's a lot of fun. The other part of it is more specific, is in our clubs. On a normal, I can't tell you what we're going to look like this year because we've never done this. And in normal school year, any given school year, we typically have anywhere from 36, 37 to 45 different clubs to choose from. And they range from everything from academic clubs, which you've heard about from like ESL Club. Dave Latterman made mention to our 2 honors club, AGS and PTK, which are wonderful clubs, who I know both are going to be active this semester. To social clubs, like we've had bike riding, we've had hiking, we've had outdoor clubs, we've had all sorts of things like that. Other academic clubs linked to majors. So we have a STEM club, we've got a computer science club, a robotics club. So all these clubs are really active, and they give students this kind of microcosm to get involved with students that have a similar interest that they do. And each one of these groups has a faculty or staff advisor that works closely with them to kind of turn that group into something that each year that's really, really impactful for their major or their interest for that year. As Jill kind of alluded to, this year, this is the year that we really need these clubs. Sadly, it's a little more difficult for clubs this year, but they will be active. We've had paperwork coming in, and our interclub, our ICC meetings, the interclub council is starting to meet. But there will be an active student club life. So please come talk to us if there are clubs that you might be interested in. If there's a club you don't see come talk to us. Send myself or Fauzi an email, and we can connect you with the advisor of that club, and or help you find out if they're going to become active. More importantly, it is really easy to start a club on our campus. And I think it's one of the reasons why international students have gravitated to club life so much over the years. We have, I don't know, on any given year, at least 10 different clubs run by international students to represent their heritage and their and where they're from, to kind of give support for the students that are coming from those countries and to share their culture with us. We have a Chinese culture club, Nepalese culture club, and several others that are incredibly active and do great things for our campus. And if you don't see a club that you want to join, you think there's something missing, this year we've made it even more easy than it usually is to start a club. All you really need is a faculty or staff advisor, which if you cannot find one immediately, contact us. We'll help kind of put you in touch with somebody. And you need basically 3 to 5 other students that are interested in joining and running your club. We need a president, we need a treasurer, and we need what is called an interclub council representative to come to our ICC meetings. So you get kind of that put together and you can start your own club. It's really, really, really easy. We will help you go through the whole Zoom thing and how to run a meeting on Zoom and do all those type of things. So those are the kind of things that we kind of have to offer. We're really straightforward, and can put you in touch with any of the multiple clubs or organizations we have. That's basically it. I can only tell you this, that you have one of one of the people I think really exemplifies what it means to come through student government and clubs in this Zoom with us is Mandana. And she hates it when I talk about her. But Mandana was our student body president 2 years ago. And she was also president of Labyrinth and God knows how many other clubs she was involved in. So I'm actually going to put her on the spot and let her talk a little bit about her experience in student government and with clubs and kind of what it meant for her.
Oh my
Sorry,
goodness.
Mandana.
Thank you, Aaron. So I must admit, I did not get serious about school until I joined a club. And that was kind of my way. That's what hooked me into my education, into wanting to experience everything on campus. So I joined a club and was really quiet in it. And then eventually, somehow, I wound up being president of that club. And it led me to making friends with all these other people who were involved in different areas of campus, namely student government. I had a really great friend who was super involved. She's like, yeah, just come try a meeting or two. Well, that one meeting led to a year and then another year. And eventually I wound up being our student body president. It was altogether a really fantastic experience. And I want to highly encourage you, if you're even just thinking about it or on the fence, please do just get involved. It's such an incredible experience that I would never trade that for anything.
Well, thank you, Mandana. And as I said, we do get a lot of international students coming through our doors and joining student government, joining clubs. And I know, especially for the international students that I've worked with in student government, and I think Mandana would agree with this, is that when we work with them, we work very tightly. So we get to know our students very well. And I think one of the things that I hear international students say is they're here not just to get a great education, not just to experience in the United States, but they want to meet people. They want to make connections with other people. They want to learn about the world. And they want to do that by making connections with people outside of sometimes the international student realm, that they want to experience new people, new cultures. And clubs and student government are an excellent way to do that. And I think that's why we have so many international students involved, because we're so broad. And we've got so like such a broad different things for different activities that you can do that will really help you, both you academically but socially as well. And again, I'm going to keep hitting on during this time that social connection. We need this. I heard my former supervisor saying that even for staff and faculty, it's really tough because we only see each other in meetings now, and we have to carve out 5 minutes of time at the beginning of each minute just to catch up with each other and find out what's everybody's doing, and what's going on in everyone's life. And these are things that we would have done, walking down the hallway and doing things like that. And for students, it's even more so. The Zoom, it's a great way to connect us all, but it's also not the same as sitting in a classroom. And I think pulling yourself out of a classroom, putting yourself in the setting of a club or student government or one of our boards, is a great way to socially get to know people and learn from people and be a part of something. So without that, I want to leave some time for questions if there are any. So that's it.
All right, it looks like we do have one question here. Where are we able to find the club list?
Good question. If you don't go this second, but normally under normal circumstances, you go to College of San Mateo /clubs. We'll have a big long list there with contact information. There's nothing populated there right now. Clubs are having a harder time getting going this semester. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. So it's a lot of work getting up all those on the website. So, and we're a two-man team, Fauzi and I. Essentially we're waiting for enough clubs to kind of get together so that we can post those up. I anticipate the list will be up towards the end of next week with the clubs that we have. But please do not hesitate to reach out to me via email, on our Facebook page, anywhere, to say, hey, is this club going to be active, or do you have a club that does whatever? Because the thing I can do is, if you are interested in a specific club, I will contact the advisor and find out what's going on with that club and where they are in their process, and connect you with their advisors so that when they are up and running, you can get in there and be a part of it. But I can tell you the clubs that I know for a fact are going to be active this semester, have already turned in their paperwork or are about to. AGS in Alpha Gamma Sigma, which is one of our honors groups. It's a statewide honors group that focuses on volunteerism. We've got PTK, which is our other it's an international honors club that focuses on doing honors projects. It's a little bit, to a certain point, an extension of what Honors Project does, but in a social setting. Muslim Student Association is going to be active. Catholic Student Association will probably be active. I've been talking with them. And there are a couple more. Unfortunately, I don't get all their paperwork. Those go to my associate Fauzi, so I don't have a big long list, but those are ones I know for a fact have turned stuff in. We've got a few more coming, so please just reach out and be like, is there going to be a computer science club? And I will go find out for you.
All right, and this is a little bit of a follow-up. So how do they register for clubs? Or sign up
clubs. So what will happen is, as clubs start meeting, we will post a Zoom link on our webpage, or they will contact you via email. If you contact them, they'll put you on an email list. So it depends on the club and what they have access to. But one way or another, it's essentially we will, if we can, we will put the Zoom link just on the website as a recurring meeting for them, for you to join. If the club doesn't have the ability or doesn't want to do that, what they'll do is put you on an email list and send you their Zoom link as they go along. Oh, great question.
Forgive me, I'm going to interpret a part of this question for you. If I get it wrong, please feel free to correct me either in the chat or by unmuting. But what is the time commitment like if we're doing remote online learning and then balancing participating in clubs?
That's a fantastic question, actually. That's entirely up to you. And that's the great thing. If you want to be a member of a club, depending on the club, it could be as much as an hour a week. And you just go to the club meeting, hang out with them, you know, get some learning in that way. The next level in a club would be being an officer, which for some clubs could actually just mean in 2 hours a week. Some clubs, depending on how engaged you get, and I know Madonna can talk to this as president of Labyrinth, it can be many, many hours a week. So that's entirely up to you. There is no minimum minimum or maximum requirement. You do what is comfortable to you. For our student government, if that's something you're interested in, the boards that they have, it's 1 hour a week for their meetings, and then there is usually a couple hours a week helping with events or meeting in task forces to plan events and do something. And then that usually comes out to be a couple hours a week. So 2 or 3, again, that's a minimum. If you want to be more involved because you have time, you're welcome to. But in this day and age, we are just asking people to kind of do the minimum. You know, we're not asking for more than the minimum because we're all living in a really crazy time. I know for international students, if you're at home, you're living in a different time zone. So it can be difficult. So we're all learning to be a little bit more flexible. So put in the time you can. And the only flip side to that I'll say is more time you can put into it, more time you'll get out of it. But don't ever put so much time into it that your academics get in the way. Somebody says they have lots of questions. No, don't worry, Jocelyn. Don't worry. Jocelyn asked me if nursing student association is going to be active. We have talked to them. My guess is yes. Nursing student association is probably one of our oldest clubs. I know we've spoken with them over the summer about some things that were going on from last year. I can't imagine they won't be. But that being said, send me an email if you're interested in joining the nursing club, and I will get you in touch with their advisor and possibly their president. Their vice president is one of our former student government officers, Kat. She's wonderful. I can put you in touch with them, and they can kind of let you know where they are. But I can't imagine they won't be. They've been a long, active club. Other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Will clubs get funding from CSM to support their efforts?
Absolutely not. Not anymore. No, just kidding. Total joke. Absolutely. We have cut the amount of club funding down only because we know that clubs are not going to be doing the same kind of events and activities that they're used to. Their conferences, if they travel for conferences, going to be online. They're not going to have food at their events, things like that. There aren't going to be setup fees for doing events. But club funding is still available. Our interclub council is still running. One of the interesting things that we will be doing, so I know we have several clubs that come out of the international students, is please encourage them to get their paperwork in, because one of the things the student government is going to put club money to work for clubs by offering incentives for clubs to be active. And that money will go directly into club accounts so that when we're back on campus, clubs can walk back on campus with money in their accounts to spend on whatever they want. They'll do things like offering incentives for clubs for, meeting so often and stuff like that, because at a certain point they want to spend that money and they want it to work for students. They're going to be talking to that at their next student government meeting. So hopefully that'll be in place by the end of next week. But yes, there's still club funding, and there probably be more funding than usual for clubs that are active and are actively engaged and out there, creating student success.
Okay, Aaron, we don't want to hold you any longer than we have
That's
to.
okay. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so glad you guys invited me, Aubrey. Donna, I miss you all the time.
Miss you. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, and please contact me with anything you need.
All right. Student life is very near and dear to my heart. I'm so glad they could make it. Okay, if there are any last questions, I'm going to hang out for a few minutes, but that is it for our presenters. Thank you all for joining us and being here today. It has been a wonderful event. All right, so you're welcome to submit any questions that you have to myself in the chat or Aubrey, and we will answer them as best we can, or